Chairman, we're live.
Okay, welcome everybody in the audience and online. This is a special meeting of the Board of the Valley County Commissioners. Pursuant to Idaho Code, there is a petition to form a new countywide ambulance district and dissolve the Valley County Emergency Service District and call for a special election. Petition to form has been filed. The petitions have been found to be legal. They are the same boundaries, the same district. And as everyone knows, the purpose of this is to hear from the public tonight. I'm pretty sure we won't make a decision tonight, but unfortunately, there is no public here. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Doug and Bill Geegray to kind of give us all an update, make sure we're recorded, and make sure you come to the mic if you have anything to speak, and we'll go from there.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, good evening. I'll provide a brief staff report regarding our involvement with the petition that was filed with our office. So we did receive 7 petitions that were filed with the county clerk's office. Enclosed in those petitions were the map, which were verified, the signatures on the petition have in fact been verified by our elections coordinator, Rich Robinson. We also received resolutions from the city of Cascade, the city of Donley, and the city of McCall. Commissioners, those certified copies of those resolutions were presented to the Board of County Commissioners on July 10th. After that hearing on July 10th, 2023, the commissioners did in fact sign the proposed resolution 23-13, which requested that the county clerk publish the notice of tonight's public hearing in the Star News. Those publications were conducted in the Star News on July 13th, July 20th, and July 27th. And that is where we are here this evening, Commissioners, is for the public hearing to allow the public to comment if in fact they want the Commissioners to have this on the ballot in November. And with that, Commissioners, I will turn it over to Mr. Geegray to see if he has any further comments or wants to make any type of presentation to the Commissioners, because he has been involved assisting the EMS district to have all of the appropriate steps take place.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, with your permission, I will follow the clerk's comments. Do I have the floor?
You have the floor.
Thank you. For purpose of the record, my name is William Franklin Geegray III. I practice with the law firm of White Peterson. Our address is 5700 East Franklin Road, Suite 200, Nampa, Idaho. I'm appearing here representing the McCall Fire Protection District, the Cascade Rural Fire Protection District, and the Donley Rural Fire Protection District, and we are appearing in support of the petition that has been filed and for which you are having the public hearings here today. With regards to the background of why our boards are in support of this petition, if I may, I would simply refer to the memorandum that I prepared on behalf of my clients that's dated May 15th, 2023, which we presented to the Board of Commissioners before, that outlines the history of all of this, as well as the basic outline of the procedure for going forward with this. And if I might, if we can just, with this reference, make that part of the record, I assume, and the clerk can correct me if I'm wrong, that you folks already have a copy of that memorandum. So that unless you want me to repeat some of that same information.
I think Doug's looking right now, but I think we have it.
And if you do, then I can proceed to, the commission has received and you have provided notice of these public hearings. And so at this point, The public hearing is to gather information for your consideration to determine whether or not you want to grant the petition, grant it without or with modification to form the new ambulance district. And of course, if you determine to grant the order, and then you direct the clerk to publish notice of an election pursuant to Idaho Code Section 313911. And I have prepared drafts, and I have emailed those to the assistant prosecutor, Mr. Oki, as well as the district clerk, Mr. Miller, as of the 28th, with the attached order to granting the petition without modification to form the ambulance district, which includes the necessary information in there if you determine to grant it, which identifies that the petition is granted, identifies the name of the proposed ambulance district, as well as the legal boundaries, which includes the legal boundaries of the entire county. And as I explained before, that legal description we have reviewed with the State Tax Commission, and we're advised that that shouldn't be any problem. But the legal description comes right out of the Idaho Code. As you know, every county has in Title 31, Chapter 1, a legal description of every county in the state. And of course, yours is one of those. And then I have also drafted for your consideration, as this moves forward, you will, if you decide to grant the petition, then you're going to have to call for a special election. In addition to the notice that would need to be published by the clerk, which you would direct, as I have prepared that notice as well for your consideration. And I prepared some resolutions calling for the conduct of the special election for the ballot question on whether to organize the new ambulance service district to be named Valley County-wide EMS District. And I did a draft of a resolution of the commissioners of the county calling for a special election for the pursuit of an override election. I'm still working with the county clerk on the exact dollar amount. And of course, those resolutions do not have to be submitted to the county clerk and the elections office. It has to be on or before, I believe it's the 18th of September. So you'll be looking at publishing a separate notice pursuant to the granting of the petition of the election. And then of course, the clerk's office and the election office will publish their notices of election in accordance with the Uniform Election Law. So we're kind of under two laws here with regards to that. One is the one on the ambulance district law, 313911, and the other one, of course, would be for those special elections pursuant to the Uniform Election Law. So I tried to get those drafted so that you folks have time to look at those. The order of the day, the first order of the day for your consideration would be whether or not you're going to grant the petition or the order granting the petition. And then, of course, the other resolutions can be, of course, enacted at some later time. And of course, you can at a later time decide whether or not you're going to grant the order. Of course, as you well know, those will all be action items under the open meeting law that will have to be included in your notices of your meeting. So I would stand for questions if you want additional information. I certainly am more than happy to try to provide it if I can. And as I understand it, some of my clients, I think, are in the audience there. As you've mentioned in the beginning, I can't see them, but they would be, of course, willing to provide additional information as you need.
Mr. Gigray, this is Chairman Hasbrook. You stated earlier, and I didn't catch it, when I know we have to have the exact amount on the ballot that the override will, and the levy rate, don't we? So we're still
Yes, sir.
waiting to come up with those numbers.
Yes, sir. You know, and I think you will know that number after you approve your budget for publication, because you're going to have to decide as commissioners of the ambulance district, not as commissioners of the county, because the order you would enter is commissioners of the county.
Mhm.
The resolution for uh, uh, calling for the conduct of the special election for the new ambulance district will be as commissioners of the county, but the override will be as commissioners of the ambulance district. And I think that the proper time to figure out what that number will be is once you have figured your budget resolution for the ambulance district, because it looked to me like you have some foregone amount, and you can decide whether or not you're going to take the foregone amount, and there are resolutions you have to do in order to do that, as you probably well know. And then we'll get the final figure on the L2 of what your options are and how much you can take. And so once you set that budget, then we'll know what that dollar amount is, and we'll then know what the amount, the top amount is that we can ask for to go to the 400th mil. But so we'll just subtract what you will be able to levy this year from that top amount, and that'll tell us what the ballot question is.
I don't think there's anything else. Yep. And we already have a map of the district now, don't we, on GIS? So that, all we gotta do is find that, dig that out.
I got to
Just the
defer to
entire
the chief
town.
on
I'm sorry?
I have to defer to the chief, DeYoung on that one. I have a map, but I know they have to present one if you grant the petition. They have to present one after you grant the petition. He probably can enlighten you on the map, because the one I think you've seen is one that shows the proposed sub-district of the boundaries, if the new ambulance district is created, which are going to follow yours. And it was just a matter of identifying that. And I remember our discussions with the State Tax Commission, and they didn't seem to have much problem at all with the map side of this, because they know it's countywide. It's just being able to identify the sub-districts, which is more of an election issue than a property tax issue.
Eric, do you want to address that?
Sure. We had Kara Utter draw the map. She used the county's map and used the same sub districts as the county commissioners, just because it's been recently reconfigured based on population and all the
Census.
requirements from the census.
Okay. So it sounds to me like everything that is on schedule, it's moving forward. Doug, we're gonna have another public hearing, is that correct? For this?
You would not,
This is it?
this would be, yes, the commissioner would determine if they do in fact want to put this on the ballot for November. What Mr. Gigray is referring to indicated the wording of what is going to be on the ballot would need to be approved by the commissioners as well.
But we can't do that until we pass the budget and know what we're gonna levy this year, take that
You're
off.
gonna need to know what that permanent override potentially is going to be, yes, sir.
So I'm assuming the next steps is to open this up for public comment. Unfortunately, we won't have a lot of public here, but I do see Dr. Ellsworth in the back. Are you here opposed or for or against, or would you like to state your concerns? If you do, you need to come to the mic. You're good. Okay, is there anyone else in the audience that is in favor, opposed, or is uncommitted? Anyone online? Okay. So then, I'm assuming that I would treat this like any other public hearing, Brian, and close it. And then we make our deliberation, correct? We're gonna close the public hearing, Doug, at 5:45, and our next step is to order granting the petition to form an ambulance district pursuant to Idaho Code Section 313911. So Commissioner Mopin, you're online, and Neil is here. What is your preference?
I think we move forward and get this done.
Okay, so Neil, is that your feeling too?
Agree. Let's move this down the road.
Okay, so I'm gonna read this to you, and we all have to kind of agree on it. The Board of County Commissioners of Valley County, Idaho have reviewed the petition and its companion filings and have published notice, and having conducted a public hearing on the petition in accordance to law, and having considered all and any testimony and documents presented at the public hearing, does hereby order, and this does order that order number one, the petitioner's petition filed in the above entitled action is granted without modification. Order number two, the name of the proposed ambulance service district shall be the Valley County-wide EMS district. And order number three, or the boundaries of the proposed ambulance service district shall be as follows, which describes the entire Valley County, southern, eastern, northern, and western boundaries. And we have a GIS map in process. That is order number four. The petitioner shall prepare a map showing the boundaries of the proposed ambulance service district as stated in order number three and filed with the office of the county clerk. And by order number five, as required by Idaho Code Section 313911-6, the county clerk is directed to publish notice of an election to be held on the 7th day of November 2023 for the purpose of determining whether or not the proposed district shall be organized. The notice shall state the name and boundaries of the proposed district and shall state that a map showing the boundaries of the proposed district is on file with the clerk's office. This notice shall also require the electors to cast ballots that contain the words Valley County-wide EMS district, yes, or Valley County-wide EMS district, no. County clerk is hereby also directed to retain this order in the official records of the county and to provide a certified copy of this resolution to a representative of the petitioners who asked for one, and provide a copy to the county prosecuting attorney. This order shall be in full force and effect immediately. So ordered by the Board of County Commissioners of Valley County on this 31st day of July, 2023. We all three are to sign this, and Doug will attest it, and that will get it on the ballot for this fall.
Mr. Chairman, just for a matter of the record, I think a motion should be.
Yeah, that was where I was going
Yes,
to go
sir, my
next.
apologies for interrupting.
So we're going, at this time, I'm going to ask for a motion and a second to approve this order.
I make a motion that we approve this order as written.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Oh, any more discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Sherry, next time you come in, you'll need to sign this.
And don't come in looking like that.
Thank you very much for that vote of support, Mr. Thompson.
It's okay, he's in shorts. We've been giving him a bad time.
They've been hitting me hard on these shorts today.
I'm gonna meet up with you so you can share my COVID. That's what I've decided now.
All right.
Do I have to disclose for the record that even though I've got a shirt and tie, I'm wearing shorts as well?
Only if you stand
No.
up and show us on live TV what they look
Good
like.
man, Greg. Good man, Bill. Good man.
Okay, if there's no other business for this public hearing, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for your support, and